following program contains disturbing materials that may not be suitable for some resellers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John with Flippin' Ain't Easy. Now I'm out here in my garage getting stuff done. You see the mess behind me? Don't let it distract you. I'm here to talk to you about just random stuff in general and some things that I've been thinking about. What I'm doing right now, working wise, is I'm looking for one of these micro USB adapters to try, so I could try this out. Okay, this came into my possession about a week ago, and I just want to make sure it powers on. And I know I have a bunch of cables down here, so I'm down here dealing with my tub of cables. Now, if you're an electronics seller, you know exactly what I'm talking about. At least I hope you do. I think most electronic sellers that I've spoken to, we have our ton of cables, sea of cables. Now the problem is I have these Sony earbuds that I picked up in a pallet, say 3 months ago, and power on, everything's great. The rubber tip on one of the earbuds fell and went into my tub of cables. And you can imagine how difficult it would be to find that one little rubber earpiece. So I put it aside. I put this in the box. I said, you know, I'm not messing with this today. I guess I'll wait till it gets hotter like it is now out in the garage. And one of these days I'll get around to finding the earbud tip. So I guess I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. And this is kind of all part of the grind, right? All part of the grind that we call eBay and reselling. And it doesn't even have to be eBay. It could be anything. You could be doing Whatnot, you know, or District, or all the live selling apps. Could be on Mercari. You could be on, hell, you could be grinding on Poshmark. Just depends on what you're selling. But it's all kind of the same thing. You know, we wake up in the morning, we get to work, and some of us get through that grind a little bit better than others. I can tell you that I get through the grind only because I set my mind. This is just what I do. I set my mind to the task that I have a goal for the day. You know, let's get $1,000 listed today. You know, and very well that could be I'm listing a couple items that have pretty good value, and it very well may be that I'm simply listing a lot of different items that day, just so I can you know, get the value in my store that I want. I'm getting very close to $30,000 now. For some of you guys, that's on the main store. For some of you guys, that ain't nothing. All right, that's not a big deal. I have 308 now items in the main store. You guys have been following the channel know that I've been in the mid 200s for the longest time. In all last year, I'd never cracked 300. But yet here I am, over 300 items, and I have close to $30,000 in value. Now, the way eBay counts my listings, because I do calculated shipping, that's actually list value. I suppose if I did free shipping and built the shipping into my items, I'd have, wow, closer to about maybe $40,000 listed. But because it's calculated, it's an unknown quantity. It's not known how much really that shipping is going to be for the buyer. Well, I am just going off of the listed value. Now I have about $8,000 in listed value on the other account. So it's close to about 40,000 between both stores. And the goal is to keep building it. And if I can get eventually up to about $100,000, maybe it'll take a year, maybe it'll take 2 years, but that's the plan, and that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my mind to that, and I'm going to make it happen. So I'm out here sorting through my cables. I'm looking through for a micro USB cable or a USB cable for this device, and I think it's for a ham radio or something, but maybe you guys know what this is. Look, I'm telling you, I'm serious. I don't put a lot of stock in time into trying to figure out, wow, that's cool. You know, how does this thing work? For me, thing powers on, does what it's supposed to do out the box. Well, I'm not setting it up. I'm doing the power on test. I just don't have time, and I don't know how you guys feel about this as resellers, but part of the grind, and Josh Galt was talking about this, the grind on his live today. If you guys aren't subscribed to Josh Galt and checking his videos out, what are you guys doing? You can also see Josh on the Profit Playbook podcast that we have every Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. So go in and check us out on Saturdays. Make it part of your Saturday yard sale or grind routine. We'd love to have you in the comments, join in the conversation. So I'm out here. Oh, I found it. I'm sitting here talking to you guys, going through these cables, and I found the micro USB. You guys know what that is. I'll put it up here so you guys can see. One of them dealios. Okay, so you can see that needs it, and I will find out. Now, of course, I'm still going to go through this whole tub for a couple reasons. In fact, I'm going to put this over here, so I'll test that a little later. One reason's found the cable, but I still think these earbuds are pretty decent. They have the little adapter on them. That's what they look like, and they power on. I believe when I did this, they did sync up to my phone and they did work. So for me, what I'm going to kind of do while I'm talking to you guys is I'm going to go through these cables and I'm going to tidy things up a little bit, and I'm going to be taking these cables out, all the while looking for this little rubber piece for these headphones. Is the time worth the squeeze? I think so, for a couple reasons. Because there's many times that I come out here and I'm looking for a certain type of cable or adapter, and I cannot find it because it's just a sea of tangled up power adapters. Heck, I even have a power adapter for Europe. I'm never going to test this thing out here. This might be something I list on the secondary store. I'm also making it a point. I kind of told myself this last year that I'm going to come out here and I'm going to go and list one of these cables or adapters, one a day. And that lasted for a solid week, maybe 2 weeks. And I just got caught up in other things. The grind will catch you up. You'll get caught up in other things. If you are truly grinding, it's very, very hard to stick to a schedule or a routine. And you just have to build that into your daily process. So my grind consists of getting up at about 8 a.m. Pacific time. That's why I miss Beard's lives all the time, because he's always ending about the time I'm getting up. And I'm not losing sleep. I'm getting my sleep. I think it's very important as resellers that we take care of ourselves and get our sleep. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting my sleep every day, and getting up about 8. I don't eat breakfast. I don't. And it's sort of my intermittent fasting that I'm doing right now that has really helped me over the years, because I like to eat. But if I do it in a way where I'm doing it throughout the day and not late at night or early in the morning when I get up, kind of allows my blood sugar to kind of normalize, and it's really helped me a lot. So that's kind of my routine. I get out here and I get in front of the computer first of all, and I see what we have going on. That means any questions that buyers have, any return requests, because my phone is on silent notification while I'm sleeping, because that's, like I said, sleep is, I think, you're a grinder out there and you ain't getting sleep, it's going to be even tougher. It's going to affect other aspects of your life, not just your business. So for me, I feel good when I wake up usually, but I'll get in front of the computer and I'll start seeing what's going on, and I'll handle that stuff. And that takes maybe about 20 minutes. I'll check the other account. I have two accounts on eBay, so I check the second account, and here we go. We get that done, and we then move on to helping Jenna get her shipping done. So she doesn't pick the items, and there's a reason for that. Some of these items you see behind me are pretty good sized boxes, and she's already having some issues with her arms and all that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get up. This has been our solid routine for the last, I'd say, couple years at least. I get out here and I find out what's sold, and I'm picking it and I put it in a designated area in her office where she does the shipping, her shipping room. And when she wakes up a little bit after I do, maybe 9 a.m., then she'll get out and start getting that done. And some days it takes her hours because, like Monday, we had 30 some odd items, and it took quite a while. And she was in there grinding away. Not a peep from her. She's got her, shows on her phone playing in the background while she's working, and she gets the stuff done. Today was only like 6 items, and we only had 6 items that sold overnight, or yesterday, and then overnight. So yeah, that's kind of the grind. What that looks like in the morning, and once that's done, now it's go time. It's time to get out here and get my drafts completed. Now, my drafts are something that I do in the evenings. Usually it's the night before I go and pick up a carload of stuff. I know what I'm getting, and I will have those items, like a prefab listing made. Not really quite sure what the condition's going to be. I have an idea, but I'm not quite sure. Thing may not even be functional. There's many times where, and I'd say this happens to about 20% of liquidation, maybe 15 to 20% of liquidation, where there's something wrong with the item, and now you have to decide what to do with that item. And in many cases, for many of you guys that deal with liquidation, it's simply either part it out or throw it away. If it has no resale value in parts or repair condition, then you're in just toss it mode. You got to kind of build that in to your daily or your daily margins or whatever you're doing. It's built into your business model. So I don't mind when things go wrong. One of the places I do go to, they give us a period of time we can return something if we find a problem with it, which is great with liquidation. And then I have to decide, is this item worth selling in the condition that it's in, or do I send it back and get my money back? And I had a part like that today. I had a pump, a utility pump, like if you're maybe have a flood in your house or whatever, or you like a well type pump, and it was returned. It was obviously returned because there was some damage to the side, like a little sheet metal cover around the side that you bolt on had some dents in it, and I took it apart and I straightened it out a little bit, and then I put it back together. And of course, I'm not selling it for what I thought I was going to be able to get. I'm selling it for less, but it's still a decent profit. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I got things in here like this. What is this? These are plastic hosing for a dehumidifier that I had an extra one of. And I'm waiting. See, that's the whole point. The whole point of having a tub full of these cords and parts is when you get liquidation, you don't always get the complete set. You may be dealing with a situation like this where I don't have a power cable. I do now because what I used to do is when I bought pallets, I'd fire up the unit, or at least try to, and oh man, this one's dead. And so I would then throw the unit out, but I'd keep the power cord because you never know when you're going to come across the situation where you need that power cord. And it over time, you find that like you just get the stuff gets in knots, right? And you have to. What I'm doing right now while I'm talking to you is I'm taking these out and I'm kind of wrapping it like this, and then I'm putting my little wire dealio on top of it to keep the wire from going crazy on me, or the cable from getting crappy. The last thing you want is to have a tub of these cables and you have a knot that you can't untie, that it's like, how the hell, who tied this knot? Because there's no Boy Scout on earth can tie some of the knots that you come across when you're dealing with these cables. I mean, look at this. Look at that. This is real, guys. This is real reselling right here. A lot of other channels won't tell you about the things that make flipping not easy, but that's what this channel is. Flipping ain't easy. And of course, it ain't me out here complaining, because I've embraced this a long time ago. It's simply me doing the grind and having a conversation with you guys about it. So do me a favor, if you enjoy these random conversations that I'm just out here having with you guys, do me a favor and hit the like button. Why don't you think about it? Subscribe to the channel. I've been really kind of, I don't want to say beating myself up, because that's not the right term. I feel like the content that I've been putting forth lately is not up to the par and the level that I want. Now, I know we do some deep dives. We do some things for the members, which is cool. By the way, you can be a member of the channel, $2.99 a month. It's not a big deal. And the only reason, well, it does help support the channel and keep it rolling. You know, we don't make a whole lot on this channel anyway. But we do put out some pretty cool content for the members that I think by keeping that part of the community focused, a smaller focused group, it keeps a lot of the nonsense out. You know, people won't pay $2.99 a month just to mess with you, but they'll do it for free. You know, like we get trolls sometimes that'll come in here and just say inappropriate things, and that's not what we want. We want to have a focused conversation. Look at the size of this power adapter. That's pretty good. So that's kind of what we do it for. I think that's probably the right price point, because it doesn't hurt it. The last thing I want to do is to hurt anyone, you know, from being able to reinvest money into. I'm not going to charge you $40 a month, and I doubt anyone would spend it, to be honest with you. So my thing is, I really want to focus more on just putting out more content, having these kind of conversations with you guys. And I just really feel like I haven't been doing that. And it's not because I don't want to be out here doing it. It's just like sometimes you kind of run into a writer's block. I mean, it's part of the YouTube grind, if I'm being serious, being honest with you. There is a major content block that I have, and I'm sure it's just not limited to me. If you do YouTube videos, I'm sure you'd know, especially if you've done them for so many years, it becomes kind of repetitive. Even though reselling is repetitive, right? But people want fresh content. They don't want to hear the same old thing about AI, or, you know, oh, here's John again with promoted listings. I get it. I get it. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm a viewer of this type of content too, and I really don't want BS wasting my time. So I think what we want as resellers when we're watching YouTube is something that will keep our mind on the task at hand, and I think of it as this. I think of it as this whole need to be entertained, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. If it keeps you focused, then by all means, that's what we should be doing. I'm no different. I have this TV that it's currently on right now. I'm actually in between videos, so talking to you, but when I'm done and I'm back out here again, I will be more than likely throwing that thing on. Here's a stand for a light. It's really shot. I don't think it's worth selling. Not going to sell it. Just going to do that and move on. So where we're at, we are at about 20 minutes so far into this video. Thank you for being here with me and hanging out with me. Again, I feel like my content has kind of gone stale and stagnant, and I just don't feel like I've figured it out. I feel like I've figured out eBay for the most part as to what I need to do to make it work, right? But I really don't feel this. I'm gonna have 26,000 great, awesome subscribers after doing this for 5 years. But I really expect better from myself. I think, we could sit here and talk about how, like eBay, you can say it's eBay's fault, but it's not true. eBay is just a platform. Yeah, the eBay has lots of faults. Don't get me wrong. But I'm willing to bet that they are not the reason why, the grind is harder. They can make it difficult at times, but the grind is usually harder when the stuff you're selling just isn't as in demand. And I know a lot of people hate hearing that from me, but we have to be honest about it, because there's a big concern coming, or actually there's a big concern right now about what's coming, and that is the idea that these AI tools, we go talking about AI, but I guess I'll bring it up, they can possibly be flooding markets with really subpar stuff. My theory is, what is a death pile? A death pile, usually, not in all cases, because if you just can't get to a whole bunch of your stuff, you can't get to a whole bunch of your stuff. And there's probably some good value, like the stuff in my storage unit. There's some pretty good stuff in there. I just haven't been able to get to it yet. Not like I don't want to list it. I just haven't been able to get to it. But death piles, I really think, are, in many cases, items that you pick up. Maybe you buy a large lot of stuff at a yard sale. Maybe it kind of looked pretty decent when you picked it up, but then you started looking at the sold comps and are like, this isn't so hot. Case in point, about 2 months ago, went to a yard sale, and I did kind of overpay for these Starbucks tumblers. Now, she never used them. She was a collector, but she found that these were the ones that she had multiples of. So she wanted like $10 a piece for them, and they're normally $20 at Starbucks. So I'm like, how much do you want for all of them? She had 30 of them. Give me $100. Now, normally I would have bartered. I don't know what got into me that day, because normally I would have countered with, how about 60 or 80, and maybe found that price point. But for whatever reason that day, I just said, okay. I gave her a $100 bill, loaded it in my car. I didn't think twice. Got it back home, started looking at this stuff a little deeper, beyond the 2 cups that she was highlighting, like she had laid out, that it looked like they had about $20, $30 value. And we're looking at like $15, $20 on the average. So can I make some money on that 30 cups? Yeah, I can. Maybe that's acceptable to a lot of people. That 2x flip by the time you're done with fees and everything and shipping, because that's free shipping on that. But for me, and I have that out. I have a box of it right now. It's on my rack, like over there. And for me, I'm looking at it like, I've got a lot of stuff that's really good here as in comparison with that. So it's more about time management, managing my time. Is it worth me listing that box of tumblers, not a difficult list at all, while I have good stuff sitting, waiting for me to get it listed. And that's kind of what creates a death pile. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the merchandise, so I think you're marking it as a death pile, and you know, some people say it's a profit pile, um, but there's a reason why it's not yet listed, and it's either in queue and you just haven't gotten it to it yet, or it is an actual death pile where you're doing everything you can, buying new stuff while that's still sitting here, right? It's you're waiting for this period of time where you don't have anything better to list before you list it. And so in my mind, that's what constitutes a death pile. When you have the mentality of, yeah, I really don't want to mess with that right now. I'd rather go and get some more of what I've been dealing with that I'd rather list. If you ever feel that way, then I think that in my mind, that's what I think of as a death pile. So when it comes to those tumblers, I guess I have a death pile. And I'm going to get them listed. I am going to get them listed. Just a matter of getting it done because I want that space back. I want that part of the rack. It's a pretty large box of these 30 tumblers. And I want that space back. But also what I was doing is I'm waiting for Josh's tool. So once that comes, the AI lister tool that he has, we're just going to try it. I want to try it out. And I want to have something that I can go through, taking, there's similar items, taking multiple pictures of, and then putting it on the AI tool and testing it out and just to see how it does. I don't know what you guys think. Some of you guys have already sworn it off, and that's fine. I get it. I understand. I do understand. I think part of reselling, part of this grind is trying to manage your costs, right? So the more we spend on the daily grind, the less we're getting in return. And we'd rather just not spend it. We'd rather just keep grinding. I get it. But I think, I'm a firm believer in this. And tell me what you guys think down below. I think you have to take the hits in your business early through reinvesting money in your business. So we're talking about tools that you're using, like our air pillow machine or our paper tape machine. Yeah, I mean that paper tape machine is every bit of $500 to $600, and it's not fun when you're paying for it. But once you get it, you realize that you should have done this a lot sooner. And I think sometimes we don't want to invest that money into our business, but I think that is a survivalist's mindset and not a growth mindset. And I think if we are trying to make, and you guys remember that stat we did on the eBay Power Hour, that was a long time ago, the for-profit playbook, we were talking about how, what is it, 80%, 90% of businesses, they don't even make it to year 5. They don't make it to year 5. And I think that's an underlying reason. 2 underlying reasons. Number one, we get comfortable in our sourcing and what we're selling. We find it acceptable. We don't look for better opportunities. And therefore, we limit our growth because of that. And number 2 is, it's like the goldfish in the small bowl. You keep that goldfish in the small bowl, they're never going to grow. They're going to stay about the same size. But if you put that goldfish in a pond, they're going to get a lot bigger. And yeah, you might have to invest in money for that pond. That small glass bowl that costs $10 at the yard sale, it may seem sufficient, but if your true interest is growth and you're making this into a career and surviving in the next 5 years, then you should be in the mindset that you're going to grind and you're going to make the bare minimum work for you now, rather than have a little bit left aside so you can reinvest that little bit to be that big goldfish in 5 years. So many of you guys out there right now are fairly new to reselling, and I think that's probably my best advice for you. 3 things. Number one, the first year of reselling, try to become as proficient as you can with everything. That doesn't mean to go in and dive in all the policies like I try to. I'm not always successful in doing that. But it means to be proficient at and really good at what you're doing. And that'll give you, that first year will give you an understanding if what you're trying to sell and your current process is going to, by then you'll figure it out. Is this something that I'm going to be able to do? And if by then you feel like, no, it's not, then I think you should have now that mentality where I'm going to start looking for better opportunities. Maybe you're used to going to the flea market. Maybe you have never gone to a thrift store. Maybe you've never considered liquidation. Heck, maybe you've never considered reaching out to businesses to see if you can do some kind of a wholesale thing. Finding people at flea markets that have excess inventory that they might be willing to part with. You're never willing to have that conversation with somebody and put yourself out there like that, like Profit First Reseller Joe, then you're never going to get that opportunity. So it's exploring and finding better opportunities for your business rather than being complacent. And then, like I said, the third thing is, do not be afraid to reinvest your profits back into things that will make your business and your processes more efficient. And you might, I think you might roll your eyes at that last one, because it's like, this tape gun works just fine. I don't need a paper tape machine. But as you grow, your 2 or 3 packages, 4 packages a day that you might be shipping out, yeah, you probably don't need more than a tape gun. But as you improve, and hopefully we're all trying to improve as we grow, as we improve, your sales will grow, your returns will improve. And if you're still using just a tape gun, I'm not saying you shouldn't use a tape gun. Every reseller should have one and use it. But if you're using boxes, you should be investing in $500 or $600. Well, I use the Easy Pack 550E is what, no, 555E is what it is, and that thing is excellent. That thing is outstanding. And once you get past the initial cost, the initial sticker shock of, like, wow, I had to go and invest $500 that I could probably have rather have put into more product. When you return time back to yourself, when you improve your processes, that's also a win. Much more. We could sit here and grind all day long. What's the point in grinding from 8 a.m. until midnight if you haven't advanced very far at all? If it's been a couple years, you're doing the same routine, you haven't invested in your business, you haven't explored new opportunities. I guess if you enjoy that, but I want some of my time back. So that's why, I'm really excited about this tool that Josh has. I'm not going to save as much time as some of you guys might, but I'm going to save that time that I use to draft my listings. I think it's, every evening I'll do some sourcing, part of my process. And I think maybe once, sometimes twice a week, I'll go out and pick up these items. And you wouldn't believe how much easier it is just mentally to know that I can bring this stuff home and the stuff is ready to be listed. All I have to do is take my photos, add the price, add the shipping information, find a location back here. That listing's done. It has allowed me to reclaim so much more time while still adhering to some of the goals that I want to meet. So I'm up over 300. Soon I'll be at 400 because I'm grinding. Even though we're in summer slowdown, I think part of it's because of me, because I'm doing things that are not business focused. But hey, as long as I'm still making it work. And by the time it's all said and done, I will be able to use this grind effectively to where I'm not just looking back saying, what have I changed in the last 2 or 3 years? I'm in the same spot with 200 listings in my main account. I'll be back looking back going, wow, I was making $300-400 a day with 200 listings. Now I'm at close to 1,000 and I'm making $700-800 a day, maybe more. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that scale would work, but I'm certain that someone with 700 items in their store that are the very same items that I'm selling, I'm sitting here at now 300, making $300-400 a day on average in sales. It's going to be more. They're going to make more than me because they have more opportunities out there, more lines in the water for them to catch some fish. So that's where I'm at, guys. I thought I'd just have this conversation with you. It's hot out here. I don't care. I enjoy talking to you guys. But do me a favor. I want to hear from you. I want to know, are you in the daily grind? And what does your grind look like? And what can you do to improve that? What would improve your grind? Is it investing in your business so that maybe it makes your shipping, the time that you take to ship, maybe cut that in half? Is it maybe what you're selling? You'd like to sell something better than what you're selling? Put that down below. I'd like to know. And maybe there's something I missed. Maybe I missed something here. Maybe I totally glossed over something that's really important that needs to be said. So put that down below. So guys, the daily grind, here it is. I'm digging through a box of power cords and adapters. Maybe yours is something different, but it's something that has to be done. And yet that's another example of how flipping ain't easy. I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day, and we will talk to you very soon. Take care.
Chargebacks, returns, and lowball offers too. Zero takedowns, they're a pain, what can we do? High selling fees, bad buys, and rude buyers galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Sourcing great items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the thing that is within your control. Hang with flipping ain't easy. Let's roll! Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, more than a